Another good week. Hard work pays, huh? 8,000 overdue. How am I supposed to cover that?
Well, have you guys ever noticed how owner-operators and drivers get on social media and start talking about how much money that they're making? Well, it's not as much as owner-operators because I don't see as many of them getting on social media to brag about how much money that they're making. It's more so coming from the people that's working for the Russians.
Russians. Should have known.
Or let me rephrase that. I'm sorry. My bad. Not working for the Russians. They are subleasing, subcontracting, lease purchasing from the Russians.
Russians. Should have known.
Yes, those guys, lease purchase drivers who actually think that they are owner operators in a sense. Now, some might just say that they are owner operators. Some might say they're owner operators in training. Now, with that, I would go with that narrative right there. Owner operators in training.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
Because they're learning what they need to do to actually operate the truck without all of the fluff, right? But then there are others that wholeheartedly says that they're not owner operators at all. They just leasing the truck from the Russians while the Russians controls everything about the truck. Everything about the truck without the quote unquote lease driver owner operating is paying out of the pocket for the truck. So those are the ones that actually brags on the internet about how much money that they're making. I'm talking big numbers every time, every post, every comment session. Now, of course, their comment session, they have plenty of pushback. In the comment session, we got some that support them, some that listen to them, some that even agree with them, while the others that I guess you could say know better. They say, I'm making this, I'm doing that. Y'all just don't know how to hustle. Y'all don't know how to make money. Y'all don't know how to make money with the Russians.
Russians. Should have known.
And I get it. I understand. A lot of newbies, a lot of inexperienced drivers, they don't know how to slick, move, and shuck and jive with the Russians. They don't. They get in, they get stuck, they get treated bad, and then when they start to push back, the Russians just put them on time. I've been hearing this for years. I've been in this game for a long time, and I heard it all. Not one, not two. I'm talking about all in the years that I've been driving. But here's the problem that I have with all of that. Because social media can make any and everybody look good. But if you pull back the camera and see all the garbage shit that's going on behind them, then you'll quite possibly understand why some people feel this way. Because I don't think it is as truthful as these lease operators make it sound. Because let's really think about this for a second, a minute, maybe an hour. Hopefully y'all got enough time with it. The people, the drivers who actually making real money out here in trucking, you don't hear nothing from them. The owner operators, you don't hear nothing from them. The real drivers that's concentrating on making the money and getting at the money, you don't hear nothing from them. They're not online trying to convince literal strangers. They're not in the comment sections going back and forth with drivers and people that they don't know. They're not posting their settlements, their trucks, their business They're not screenshotting none of that every other week. See, those drivers, those owner-operators, they move different. See, the realness of trucking when it comes to drivers doing what they need to do to make their money, they are the ones that's getting at it. They're not about to tell you what lanes they run. They're not about to tell you who they're hauling for. They're not about to break down their whole operation so you can copy and paste. And think about it. Why would they?
Why?
See, that's how they eat. They came up from the mud. They came up from the gutter. They build, they plan, they put it all together, and that's how they made it work. And think about it. The top brass out here, you don't see Jay-Z going around talking about how he made millions. You don't see him bragging on social media. You don't see Bill Gates bragging, showing screenshots on social media. You don't hear none of these Fortune 500 billionaires, CEOs. You don't see them talking about how they eat, how they run, how they do things. See, listen, the moment that they open their mouths too much, here comes the competition. Somebody else is coming in. Somebody else is looking at their operation. Somebody else is looking at their lanes. And here comes the underbidding. Here comes them calling the same customers as they have to say that they can do it a little bit cheaper. Somebody that sees what they're doing, hears what they doing, heard who they running from. Now they trying to slide in their lane. So those drivers, those owner operators, they stay quiet. They say, shh. Don't speak. Don't speak. If you want to continue to make money in this, don't say nothing. Just learn. Just keep your ears open, your eyes open. Don't speak. Don't say nothing. Now let's talk about the company drivers, such as myself. See, the ones that are actually making good money, steady money, consistent money, they're not online bragging either. They're not online shaking their ass. They're not online making content. They're not sitting in the driver's seat 24 hours on a live feed. They out there getting after the money because they know if they sit, they're not making no money. So how are you making money if you're on a live feed from the time you get up in the morning until the time you go to sleep? Now, maybe, I don't know, maybe you're on a 34, maybe you're bored, I get it. But I'm talking about every day. Every day you're on a live feed. Every day you trying to make some content. Every day you trying to set the camera up, get camera ready. Every day. But see, the drivers that's not sitting, that's getting their money, that's getting after the true bag, they're not online bragging either. Because we understand something that a lot of people don't. See, the more attention you bring to your situation, the more people are attracted to you. Now you got more drivers applying to your company. Now you got more competition for miles. Now you got people trying to get in where you're already comfortable. And the drivers that really got it good, see, they don't move like that. And the ones that be on social media, quote unquote influencer, trying to convince you to come into trucking or trying to convince you to come over to the carrier that I work for, those are the ones that's trying to make money off of you. No, they're not, Lockout. They ain't trying to make no money off of you. Yeah. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They trying to make money off of you, there, driver. You want to know why?
Why?
Because when they tell you about a company, tell you how a company is good, tell you how a company is great, and the company is doing all this, that, and the third, put my name on the referral line. And when you do that, I would get paid for bringing you on. Those are the ones you really got to be careful of. You got to be careful of those drivers right there, because if they say, put my name on a dotted line, then you already know that they doing all that capping for the company so they can get paid. Now, let me just break this down and give you a little bit of story, because I talked to a whole bunch of recruiters back in the day, a lot. But have you ever noticed when you call that same company, that same recruiter that I talked to maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago is no longer there? damn, Lockout, why they ain't there no more? I thought the company was great. I thought the company was the best things since sliced cheese. That's why they said everything about it. Well, I don't know, honestly, because the same people that I talked to at a few companies, for whatever reason, the recruiter is not there no more, right? I talked to Dick Levy back in the day. The young lady, Shelly, awesome recruiter. She talked up the company like it was the next best thing. Almost had me to sign on the dotted line. And then maybe about a year or two later, something happened internally and she's no longer with the company. Same thing with the young lady that was with Shipettes. Great conversation with her. She talked up the company and said that the company was better than everything that was on the planet. She was even on several other podcasts promoting the company. Several months later, she's gone. I talked to the young man in Illinois. I forget the name of the company. And me and him became mutuals. Actually, we're still mutuals to this day. We just haven't, I lost contact with him. And unfortunately, since my phone got hacked, I lost his number. But we keep in contact with each other through Facebook. And something happened with that company and he's no longer with the company. So sometimes you just got to take what these recruiters say about this company with a grain of salt. Because why? Those same recruiters that be giving you the milk about the company, their time with the company is limited as well. And again, like I said, drivers, I used to be a driver recruiter for J&R Strugel. You see where I'm at. But I was open, honest, and straightforward with the information that I brought about J&R Strugel. Now, I can probably speculate on this if I was still with them. They probably would have started giving me scripts because they was about to start paying me directly. Everything I was doing was for referrals. But when they start paying you and you sign the contract, then you got to abide by that contract, meaning that I got to start scripting some of the stuff that I will put out there and not be biased or unbiased to the company that I work for, because they don't want a driver to be open and honest, especially if they paying for it. No, they want you to tell the driver what they want you to say. So you got to know that when you talk to these drivers out here, you got to make sure what they say is how they feel and not what they've been told. But then again, the best drivers usually don't say nothing at all. See, most of them been the same for years. They're not job hopping. They're not chasing every new sign-on bonus. They're not jumping every 6 months. And let me just hold up right there. Have you ever noticed why a company constantly keep posting looking for drivers? Well, because they got a high turnover rate. They can't keep the drivers. That's why they keep posting for drivers. If you come across a company that's constantly post on job boards, on driver posts, on Indeed, that got to tell you that something's going on. They can't keep the drivers that they either have or the drivers that they bringing in. But for the drivers that are there, the drivers that's not saying anything, running, making their money, they're locked in. They figured out their lane and they are staying in it. So when I see all this garbage talk about everybody making all this money in trucking, I gotta call cap on it. A lot of it is cap, straight up, for real, cap. Because if everybody was making that kind of money,
You got a pocket full of money. You won't even give your mama no real money.
let's be honest here. We wouldn't be having the same conversations every day. We wouldn't be talking about struggling freight. We wouldn't be talking about companies holding checks. We wouldn't be talking about drivers being stuck on the road with no way home. We wouldn't be seeing drivers quitting week after week after week. It wouldn't even be a topic. But unfortunately, drivers, it is. And that tells you pretty much everything you need to know. Pause. Trucking got money in it. I'm not saying that it don't. There's money here. But it ain't as simple as people make it sound online. These influencers got you twisted. It's not a get a truck and you get rich quick. It don't work like that. There's expense. There's downtime. There's bad weeks. There's breakdowns. There's customers. There's companies that just don't pay drivers on time. There's customers, like I started to say, that don't pay the owner operators on time. There's a whole side that drivers just don't talk about, but I will. And that's the side that will humble you real quick. But nobody wants to post that part. Nobody wants to say, yeah, I made 10K this week, but 9K went right back out. Nobody don't want to say that. Nobody don't want to say, I had a good month, but the last 2 or 3 months was real slow. Nobody don't want to show the whole picture here. They just want to show the highlight reel. They just want to show the time that they are on vacation. They just want to show the time that they get that big paycheck that they want to flaunt online. That's it. And when new drivers see that, those the ones that think it's the norm. They think it's the norm. It's normal. And that, drivers, is where the problem starts. Because now you got people coming into the industry with the wrong expectations. They're thinking it's fast money. They thinking that it's easy money. And then when reality hits them, they don't know how to handle it. Now, let me just say this, drivers, okay? If drivers really got it like that, the boats, the cars, the yachts, the house, the mansions.
I own a mansion and a yacht. Again.
Let me just ask you something right quick. Why are you still driving? Real question. Why are you out here dealing with DOT, dealing with traffic, shippers, receivers, breakdowns every so often? Why, driver? At some point, if the money was really flowing like that, you would either be scaling up or stepping back, because now you'll be in a position to delegate things. You'll be the one that's calling the shots. You'll be the one in the office delegating your time to building your business and bringing potential drivers onto your fleet. You're not doing the same grind forever, right? And that's the part that people don't question enough. These social media influencers love to talk about all that good stuff and nobody questions it. They just hear the numbers and then they just run with it. But see, the numbers don't tell the whole story. Consistency does, drivers. Longevity does. Peace of freaking mind does. And a lot of the times, the drivers that really got those things, you don't hear from them at all. They're not loud. They're not trying to prove anything. They're just working and trying to build their empire. So when you see all this online cap, online influencers, take it with a grain of salt. Don't let somebody else highlight reel make you feel like you're behind, because you don't know what's really going on behind that camera. Half the stuff, to be honest with you, is marketing. Half of it is ego. Get it? Ego. Half of it is stuff trying to sell an image of a company so they can get their referral bonus. And listen, driver, if you're not careful, you'll end up chasing something that ain't even real. So focus on you and figure out what works for you. And when you do that, build something steady, because drivers, that's how you're going to win at this game. Not by trying to keep up what some influencer said on the internet.